Proverbs. Chapter 1. The Proverbs of Solomon son of David, king of Israel. For learning what wisdom and discipline are, for understanding words of deep meaning, for acquiring a disciplined insight, uprightness, justice and fair dealing, for teaching sound judgment to the simple, and knowledge and reflection to the young. Let the wise listen and learn yet more, and a person of discernment will acquire the art of guidance. For perceiving the meaning of proverbs and obscure sayings, the sayings of the sages and their riddles. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. Fools spurn wisdom and discipline. Listen, my child, to your father's instruction. Do not reject your mother's teaching. They will be a crown of grace for your head, a circlet for your neck. My child, if sinners try to seduce you, do not go with them. If they say, "Come with us, let us lie in ambush to shed blood," if we plan an ambush for the innocent without provocation, we can swallow them alive, like Sheol, and whole, like those who sink into oblivion. We shall find treasures of every sort. We shall fill our houses with plunder. Throw in your lot with us. One purse between us all. My child, do not follow them in their way. Keep your steps out of their path, for their feet hasten to evil. They are quick to shed blood. For the net is spread in vain if any winged creature can see it. It is for their own blood such people lie in wait. Their ambush is against their own selves. Such are the paths of all who seek dishonest gain, which robs of their lives all who take it for their own. Wisdom calls aloud in the streets. She raises her voice in the public squares. She calls out at the street corners. She delivers her message at the city gates. You simple people, how much longer will you cling to your simple ways? How much longer will mockers revel in their mocking and fools go on hating knowledge? Pay attention to my warning. To you I will pour out my heart and tell you what I have to say. Since I have called and you have refused me, since I have beckoned and no one has taken notice, since you have ignored all my advice and rejected all my warnings, I, for my part, shall laugh at your distress. I shall jeer when terror befalls you. When terror befalls you, like a storm, when your distress arrives, like a whirlwind, when ordeal and anguish bear down on you. Then they will call me, but I shall not answer. They will look eagerly for me and will not find me. They have hated knowledge. They have not chosen the fear of Yahweh. They have taken no notice of my advice. They have spurned all my warnings. So they will have to eat the fruits of their own ways of life, and choke themselves with their own scheming. For the errors of the simple lead to their death. The complacency of fools works their own ruin. But whoever listens to me may live secure, will have quiet, fearing no mischance. Proverbs. Chapter 2. My child, if you take my words to heart, if you set store by my commandments, tuning your ear to wisdom, tuning your heart to understanding, yes, if your plea is for clear perception, if you cry out for understanding, if you look for it as though for silver, search for it as though for buried treasure, then you will understand what the fear of Yahweh is, and discover the knowledge of God. For Yahweh himself is giver of wisdom. From his mouth issue knowledge and understanding. He reserves his advice for the honest, a shield to those whose ways are sound. He stands guard over the paths of equity. He keeps watch over the way of those faithful to him. Then you will understand uprightness, equity, and fair dealing, the paths that lead to happiness. When wisdom comes into your heart and knowledge fills your soul with delight, then prudence will be there to watch over you, and understanding will be your guardian to keep you from the way that is evil, from those whose speech is deceitful, from those who leave the paths of honesty to walk the roads of darkness, those who find their joy in doing wrong, and their delight in deceitfulness, whose tracks are twisted, and the paths that they tread crooked, to keep you too from the woman who belongs to another, from the stranger, with her wheedling words. She has left the partner of her younger days. She has forgotten the covenant of her God. Her house is tilting towards death. Down to the shades go her paths. Of those who go to her not one returns. They never regain the paths of life. Thus you will tread the way of good people, persisting in the paths of the upright. For the land will be for the honest to live in. The innocent will have it for their home, while the wicked will be cut off from the land. and the faithless rooted out of it. Proverbs, chapter 3. My child, do not forget my teaching, let your heart keep my principles, since they will increase your length of days, your years of life and your well-being. Let faithful love and constancy never leave you. Tie them round your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart. Thus you will find favor and success in the sight of God and of people. Trust wholeheartedly in Yahweh. Put no faith in your own perception. Acknowledge Him in every course you take, and He will see that your paths are smooth. Do not congratulate yourself on your own wisdom. Fear Yahweh and turn your back on evil. Health-giving, this, to your body, relief to your bones. Honor Yahweh with what goods you have and with the first fruits of all your produce. Then your barns will be filled with corn, your vats overflowing with new wine. My child, do not scorn correction from Yahweh. Do not resent His reproof. For Yahweh reproves those He loves, as a father the child whom He loves. Blessed are those who have discovered wisdom, those who have acquired understanding. Gaining her is more rewarding than silver. Her yield is more valuable than gold. She is beyond the price of pearls. Nothing you could covet is her equal. In her right hand is length of days. In her left hand, riches and honor. Her ways are filled with delight. Her paths all lead to contentment. She is a tree of life for those who hold her fast. Those who cling to her live happy lives. In wisdom, Yahweh laid the earth's foundations. In understanding He spread out the heavens. Through His knowledge the depths were cleft open, and the clouds distill the dew. My child, hold to sound advice and prudence. Never let them out of sight. They will give life to your soul and beauty to your neck. You will go on your way in safety. Your feet will not stumble. When you go to bed, you will not be afraid. Once in bed, your sleep will be sweet. Have no fear either of sudden terror or of attack mounted by wicked men. Since Yahweh will be your guarantor, He will keep your steps from the snare. Refuse no kindness to those who have a right to it, if it is in your power to perform it. Do not say to your neighbor, "Go away. Come another time. I will give it you tomorrow, if you can do it now." Do not plot harm against your neighbor who is living unsuspecting beside you. Do not pick a groundless quarrel with anyone who has done you no harm. Do not envy the man of violence. Never model your conduct on his. For the willful wrongdoer is abhorrent to Yahweh, who confides only in the honest. Yahweh's curse lies on the house of the wicked, but He blesses the home of the upright. He mocks those who mock, but accords His favor to the humble. Glory is the portion of the wise. All that fools inherit is contempt. Proverbs, chapter 4. Listen, my children, to a father's instruction. Pay attention, and learn what understanding is. What I am offering you is sound doctrine. Do not forsake my teaching. I too was once a child with a father. In my mother's eyes a tender child, unique. This was what he used to teach me. Let your heart treasure what I have to say. Keep my principles and you will live. Acquire wisdom, acquire understanding. Never forget her, never deviate from my words. Do not desert her, she will keep you safe. Love her, she will watch over you. The first principle of wisdom is, acquire wisdom. At the cost of all you have, acquire understanding. Hold her close, and she will make you great. Embrace her, and she will be your pride. She will provide a graceful garland for your head, bestow a crown of honor on you. Listen, my child, take my words to heart, and the years of your life will be multiplied. I have educated you in the ways of wisdom. I have guided you along the path of honesty. When you walk, your going will be unhindered. If you run, you will not stumble. Hold fast to discipline. Never let her go. Keep your eyes on her. She is your life. Do not follow the path of the wicked. Do not walk the way that the evil go. Avoid it. Do not take it. Turn your back on it. Pass it by. For they cannot sleep unless they have first done wrong. They miss their sleep if they have not made someone stumble. For the bread of wickedness is what they eat, and the wine of violence is what they drink. The path of the upright is like the light of dawn, its brightness growing to the fullness of day. The way of the wicked is as dark as night. They cannot tell the obstacles they stumble over. My child, pay attention to what I am telling you. Listen carefully to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them deep in your heart. For they are life to those who find them and health to all humanity. More than all else, keep watch over your heart, since here are the wellsprings of life. Turn your back on the mouth that misleads. Keep your distance from lips that deceive. Let your eyes be fixed ahead, your gaze be straight before you. Let the path you tread be level and all your ways be firm. Turn neither to right nor to left. Keep your foot clear of evil. Proverbs, chapter 5. My son, pay attention to my wisdom, listen carefully to what I know, so that you may preserve discretion and your lips may guard knowledge. Take no notice of a loose-living woman, for the lips of the adulteress drip with honey. Her palate is more unctuous than oil, but in the end she is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, Sheol the goal of her steps. Far from following the path of life, her course is uncertain and she does not know it. And now, son, listen to me, never deviate from what I say. Set your course as far from her as possible. Go nowhere near the door of her house, or she will hand over your honor to others, the years of your life to a man without pity, and strangers will batten on your property, and your produce go to the house of a stranger. And at your ending, your body and flesh having been consumed, you will groan and exclaim, Alas, I hated discipline, my heart spurned all correction. I would not attend to the voice of my masters. I would not listen to those who tried to teach me. Now I have come to nearly every kind of misery, in the assembly and in the community. Drink the water from your own storage well, fresh water from your own spring. Even if your fountains overflow outside, your streams of water in the public squares, let them be for you alone, and not for strangers with you. May your fountainhead be blessed. Find joy with a wife you married in your youth, fair as a hind, graceful as a fawn. Hers the breasts that ever fill you with delight, hers the love that ever holds you captive. Why be seduced, my son, by someone else's wife, and fondle the breast of a woman who belongs to another? For the eyes of Yahweh observe human ways, and survey all human paths. The wicked is snared in his own misdeeds, is caught in the meshes of his own sin. For want of discipline, he dies, led astray by his own excessive folly. Proverbs, chapter 6. My child, if you have gone surety for your neighbor, if you have guaranteed the bond of a stranger, if you have committed yourself with your lips, if through words of yours you have been entrapped, do this, my child, to extricate yourself, since you have put yourself in the power of your neighbor. Go, humble yourself, plead with your neighbor, give your eyes no sleep, your eyelids no rest, break free like a gazelle from the trap, like a bird from the fowler's clutches. Idler, go to the ant, ponder her ways and grow wise. No one gives her orders, no overseer, no master, yet all through the summer she gets her food ready, and gathers her supplies at harvest time. How long do you intend to lie there, idler? When are you going to rise from your sleep? A little drowsiness, a little folding of the arms to lie back, and poverty comes like a vagrant and like a beggar dearth. A scoundrel, a vicious man, he goes with a leer on his lips, winking his eye, shuffling his foot, beckoning with his finger. Trickery in his heart, always scheming evil, he sows dissension. Disaster will overtake him sharply for this. Suddenly, irretrievably, he will be broken. There are 6 things that Yahweh hates, 7 that he abhors: a haughty look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that weaves wicked plots, feet that hurry to do evil, a false witness who lies with every breath, and one who sows dissension among brothers. Keep your father's precept, my child. Do not spurn your mother's teaching. Bind them ever to your heart. Tie them round your neck. While you are active, they will guide you when you fall asleep. They will watch over you when you wake up. They will converse with you. For the precept is a lamp. The teaching is a light. Correction and discipline are the way to life, preserving you from the woman of bad character, from the wheedling talk of a woman who belongs to another. Do not covet her beauty in your heart, or let her captivate you with the play of her eyes. A prostitute can be bought for a hunk of bread, but a married woman aims to snare a precious life. Can a man carry fire inside his shirt without setting his clothes alight? Can you walk on red-hot coals without burning your feet? Just so, the man who makes love to his neighbor's wife. No one who touches her will get off unpunished. People attach but little blame to a thief who steals only to satisfy his hunger. Yet even he, if caught, will have to repay sevenfold and hand over all his family resources. But the adulterer has no sense. He works his own destruction. All he will get is blows and contempt, and dishonor never to be blotted out. For jealousy inflames the husband who will show no mercy when the day comes for revenge. He will not consider any compensation. Lavish what gifts you may, he will not be placated. Proverbs chapter 7. My child, keep my words, and treasure my precepts. Keep my precepts and you will live. Keep my teaching as the apple of your eye. Bind these to your fingers. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister. Call understanding your relation, to save yourself from the woman that belongs to another, from the stranger, with her seductive words. While I was at the window of my house, I was looking out through the lattice and I saw, among the callow youths, I noticed among the lads, one boy who had no sense. Going along the lane, near the corner where she lives, he reaches the path to her house, at twilight when day is declining, at dead of night and in the dark. And look, a woman is coming to meet him, dressed like a prostitute, false of heart. She is loud and brazen. Her feet cannot rest at home. Once in the street, once in the square, she lurks at every corner. She catches hold of him, she kisses him. The bold-faced creature says to him, I had to offer a communion sacrifice. I have discharged my vows today. That is why I came out to meet you, to look for you, and now I have found you. I have spread coverlets over my divan, embroidered stuff, Egyptian material. I have sprinkled my bed with myrrh, with aloes and cinnamon. Come on, we'll make love as much as we like, till morning. Let us enjoy the delights of love. For my husband is not at home. He has gone on a very long journey, taking his money bags with him. He will not be back till the moon is full. With her persistent coaxing she overcomes him, lures him on with her wheedling patter. Forthwith he follows her, like an ox on its way to the slaughterhouse, like a madman on his way to the stocks, until an arrow pierces him to the liver, like the bird that dashes into the net without realizing that its life is at stake. And now, son, listen to me. Pay attention to the words I have to say. Do not let your heart stray into her ways, or wander into her paths. She has done so many to death, and the strongest have all been her victims. Her house is the way to Sheol, the descent to the courts of death. Proverbs chapter 8. Is not wisdom calling? Is not understanding raising her voice? On the heights overlooking the road at the crossways, she takes her stand. By the gates, at the entrance to the city, on the access roads, she cries out, I am calling to you, all people. My words are addressed to all humanity. Simpletons, learn how to behave. Fools, come to your senses. Listen, I have something important to tell you. When I speak, my words are right. My mouth proclaims the truth, for evil is abhorrent to my lips. All the words from my mouth are upright, nothing false there, nothing crooked, everything plain, if you can understand, straight if you have acquired knowledge. Accept my discipline rather than silver, and knowledge of me in preference to finest gold. For wisdom is more precious than jewels, and nothing else is so worthy of desire. I, wisdom, share house with discretion. I am mistress of the art of thought. Fear of Yahweh means hatred of evil. I hate pride and arrogance, wicked behavior and a lying mouth. To me belong good advice and prudence. I am perception. Power is mine. By me monarchs rule and princes decree what is right. By me rulers govern, so do nobles, the lawful authorities. I love those who love me. Whoever searches eagerly for me finds me. With me are riches and honor, lasting wealth and saving justice. The fruit I give is better than gold, even the finest. The return I make is better than pure silver. I walk in the way of uprightness in the path of justice, to endow my friends with my wealth and to fill their treasuries. Yahweh created me, first fruits of his fashioning, before the oldest of his works. From everlasting, I was firmly set, from the beginning, before the earth came into being. The deep was not, when I was born, nor were the springs with their abounding waters. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills, I came to birth. Before he had made the earth, the countryside, and the first elements of the world. When he fixed the heavens firm, I was there. When he drew a circle on the surface of the deep, when he thickened the clouds above, when the sources of the deep began to swell, when he assigned the sea its boundaries, and the waters will not encroach on the shore, when he traced the foundations of the earth, I was beside the master craftsman, delighting him day after day, ever at play in his presence, at play everywhere on his earth, delighting to be with the children of men. And now, my children, listen to me. Happy are those who keep my ways. Listen to instruction and become wise. Do not reject it. Blessed, whoever listens to me, who day after day keeps watch at my gates to guard my portals. For whoever finds me finds life, and obtains the favor of Yahweh. But whoever misses me harms himself. All who hate me are in love with death. Proverbs, chapter 9. Wisdom has built herself a house. She has hewn her 7 pillars. She has slaughtered her beasts, drawn her wine. She has laid her table. She has dispatched her maidservants and proclaimed from the heights above the city, "Who is simple? Let him come this way." To the fool she says, "Come and eat my bread. Drink the wine which I have drawn. Leave foolishness behind and you will live. Go forwards in the ways of perception. Reprove a mocker and you attract contempt. Rebuke the wicked and you attract dishonor. Do not rebuke the mocker, he will hate you. Rebuke the wise and he will love you for it. Be open with the wise, he grows wiser still. Teach the upright, he will gain yet more. The first principle of wisdom is the fear of Yahweh. What God's holy ones know, this is understanding. For by me your days will be multiplied, and your years of life increased. Are you wise? You are wise to your own good. A mocker? The burden is yours alone. A silly woman acts on impulse, is foolish and knows nothing. She sits at the door of her house, on a throne high up in the city, calling to the passers-by, who are walking straight past on their way. Who is simple? Turn aside, come over here. To the fool she says, stolen waters are sweet, and bread tastes better when eaten in secret. But the fool does not know that this is where the shades are and that her guests are already in the valleys of Sheol. Proverbs, chapter 10. The Proverbs of Solomon. A wise child is a father's joy, a foolish child a mother's grief. Treasures wickedly come by give no benefit, but uprightness brings delivery from death. Yahweh does not let the upright go hungry, but he thwarts the greed of the wicked. A slack hand brings poverty, but the hand of the diligent brings wealth. Reaping at harvest time is the mark of the prudent. Sleeping at harvest time is the sign of the worthless. Blessings are on the head of the upright,
but the mouth of the godless is a cover for violence. The upright is remembered with blessings. The name of the wicked rots away. The wise of heart takes orders, but a gabbling fool heads for ruin. Anyone whose ways are honorable walks secure, but whoever follows crooked ways is soon unmasked. A wink of the eye brings trouble. A bold rebuke brings peace. The mouth of the upright is a life-giving fountain, but the mouth of the godless is a cover for violence. Hatred provokes disputes, but love excuses all offenses. On the lips of the discerning is found wisdom, on the back of a fool, the stick. Wise people store up knowledge, but the mouth of a fool makes ruin imminent. The wealth of the rich is their stronghold. Poverty is the undoing of the weak. The wage of the upright affords life, but sin is all the wicked earns. Whoever abides by discipline walks towards life. Whoever ignores correction goes astray. Liars' lips are a cover for hatred. Whoever utters slander is a fool. A flood of words is never without fault. Whoever controls the lips is wise. The tongue of the upright is purest silver. The heart of the wicked is of trumpery value. The lips of the upright nourish many peoples, but fools die for want of sense. The blessing of Yahweh is what brings riches. To this, hard toil has nothing to add. A fool takes pleasure in doing wrong, the intelligent in cultivating wisdom. What the wicked fears overtakes him. What the upright desires comes to him as a present. When the storm is over, the wicked is no more, but the upright stands firm forever. As vinegar to the teeth, smoke to the eyes, so the sluggard to the one who sends him. The fear of Yahweh adds length to life. The years of the wicked will be cut short. The hope of the upright is joy. The expectations of the wicked come to nothing. The way of Yahweh is a rampart for the honest. For evildoers nothing but ruin. The upright will never have to give way, but the land will offer no home for the wicked. The mouth of the upright utters wisdom. The tongue that deceives will be cut off. The lips of the upright know about kindness, the mouth of the wicked about deceit. Proverbs chapter 11. A false balance is abhorrent to Yahweh. A just weight is pleasing to him. Pride comes first, disgrace soon follows. With the humble is wisdom found. The honest have their own honesty for guidance. The treacherous are ruined by their own perfidy. In the day of retribution riches will be useless, but uprightness delivers from death. The uprightness of the good makes their way straight. The wicked fall by their own wickedness. Their uprightness sets the honest free. The treacherous are imprisoned by their own desires. The hope of the wicked perishes with death. Hope placed in riches comes to nothing. The upright escapes affliction. The wicked incurs it instead. Through his mouth the godless is the ruin of his neighbor, but by knowledge the upright are safeguarded. When the upright prosper the city rejoices. When the wicked are ruined there is a shout of joy. A city is raised on the blessing of the honest, and demolished by the mouth of the wicked. Whoever looks down on a neighbor lacks good sense. The intelligent keeps a check on the tongue. A tittle-tattler lets secrets out. The trustworthy keeps things hidden. For want of leadership a people perishes. Safety lies in many advisers. Whoever goes bail for a stranger does himself harm, but one who shuns going surety is safe. A gracious woman acquires honor. Violent people acquire wealth. Faithful love brings its own reward. The inflexible injure their own selves. Disappointment crowns the labors of the wicked. Whoever sows uprightness reaps a solid reward. Whoever establishes uprightness is on the way to life. Whoever pursues evil, on the way to death. Tortuous hearts are abhorrent to Yahweh, dear to him, those whose ways are blameless. Be sure of it, the wicked will not go unpunished, but the race of the upright will come to no harm. A golden ring in the snout of a pig is a lovely woman who lacks discretion. The hope of the upright is nothing but good. The expectation of the wicked is retribution. One scatters money around, yet only adds to his wealth. Another is excessively mean, but only grows the poorer. The soul who blesses will prosper. Whoever satisfies others will also be satisfied. The people's curse is on those who hoard the wheat, their blessing on the head of those who sell it. Whoever strives for good obtains favor. Whoever looks for evil will get an evil return. Whoever trusts in riches will have a fall. The upright will flourish like the leaves. Whoever misgoverns a house inherits the wind, and the fool becomes slave to the wise. The fruit of the upright is a tree of life. The sage captivates souls. If here on earth the upright gets due reward, how much more the wicked and the sinner? Proverbs, chapter 12. Whoever loves discipline, loves knowledge. Stupid are those who hate correction. The honest obtains Yahweh's favor. The schemer incurs his condemnation. No one is made secure by wickedness, but nothing shakes the roots of the upright. A capable wife, her husband's crown. A shameless wife, a cancer in his bones. The plans of the upright are honest. The intrigues of the wicked are full of deceit. The words of the wicked are snares to shed blood. What the honest say keeps them safe. Once thrown down, the wicked are no more, but the house of the upright stands firm. Prudence wins praise, but a tortuous heart incurs only contempt. Better a common fellow who has a slave than someone who gives himself airs and has nothing to eat. The upright has compassion on his animals, but the heart of the wicked is ruthless. Whoever works his land shall have bread and to spare, but no one who chases fantasies has any sense. The godless delights in the snare of the wicked, but the root of the upright bears fruit. In the sin of the lips lies a disastrous trap, but the upright finds a way out of misfortune. Abundance of good things is the fruit of the lips. Labor brings its own return. Fools think the way they go is straight. The wise listens to advice. The fool shows anger straightaway. The discreet conceals dislike. To tell the truth is to further justice. A false witness is nothing but deceit. Thoughtless words can wound like a sword, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. Sincere lips endure forever. The lying tongue lasts only a moment. Deceit is in the heart of the schemer. Joy with those who give counsels of peace. No harm can come to the upright, but the wicked are swamped by misfortunes. Lying lips are abhorrent to Yahweh. Dear to him those who make truth their way of life. The discreet keeps knowledge hidden. The heart of fools proclaims their folly. For the diligent hand, authority. For the slack hand, forced labor. Worry makes a heart heavy. A kindly word makes it glad. The upright shows the way to a friend. The way of the wicked leads them astray. The idle has no game to roast. Diligence is anyone's most precious possession. In the way of uprightness is life. The ways of the vengeful lead to death. Proverbs, chapter 13. A wise child listens to a father's discipline. A cynic will not listen to reproof. The fruit of the mouth provides a good meal, but the soul of the treacherous feeds on violence. A guard on the mouth makes life secure. Whoever talks too much is lost. The idler hungers but has no food. Hard workers get their fill. The upright hates a lying word, but the wicked slanders and defames. Uprightness stands guard over one whose way is honest. Sin causes the ruin of the wicked. There are some who, on nothing, pretend to be rich, some, with great wealth, pretend to be poor. The ransom for life is a person's wealth, but the poor will not hear the reproof. The light of the upright is joyful. The lamp of the wicked goes out. Insolence breeds only disputes. Wisdom lies with those who take advice. A sudden fortune will dwindle away. Accumulation little by little is the way to riches. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. Desire fulfilled is a tree of life. Contempt for the word is self-destructive.
Respect for the commandment wins salvation.
The teaching of the wise is a life-giving fountain for eluding the snares of death.
Good sense wins favor, but the way of the treacherous is hard. Anyone of discretion acts by the light of knowledge. The fool parades his folly. A bad messenger falls into misfortune. A trusty messenger brings healing. Whoever rejects discipline wins poverty and scorn. For anyone who accepts correction, honor. Desire fulfilled is sweet to the soul. Fools are loath to turn from evil. Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise. Whoever mixes with fools will be ruined. Evil will pursue the sinner, but good will reward the upright. The good bequeaths a heritage to children's children. The wealth of the sinner is stored away for the upright. Though the farms of the poor yield much food, some perish for lack of justice. Whoever fails to use the stick hates his child. Whoever is free with correction loves him. The upright eats to the full. The belly of the wicked goes empty. Proverbs, chapter 14.
Wisdom builds herself a house. With her own hands folly pulls it down.
Whoever keeps to an honest course fears Yahweh. Whoever deserts his paths shows contempt for him.
Pride sprouts in the mouth of the fool. The lips of the wise keep them safe. No oxen, empty manger. Strong bull, much cash. The truthful witness tells no lies. The false witness lies with every breath.
In vain the mocker looks for wisdom. Knowledge comes easy to the intelligent. Keep well clear of the fool. You will not find wise lips there. With people of discretion, wisdom keeps a watch over their conduct, but the folly of fools leads them astray. Fools mock at the sacrifice for sin, but favor resides among the honest. The heart knows its own grief best, nor can a stranger share its joy. The house of the wicked will be destroyed. The tent of the honest will prosper. There are ways that some think straight, but they lead in the end to death.
Even in laughter the heart finds sadness, and joy makes way for sorrow. The miscreant will reap the reward of his conduct, and the good the reward of his deeds. The simpleton believes any message. A person of discretion treads a careful path. The wise fears evil and avoids it. The fool is insolent and conceited. A quick-tempered person commits rash acts, but a schemer is detestable. Simpletons have folly for their portion. People of discretion knowledge for their crown. The evil bow down before the good, the wicked at the gates of the upright. The poor is detestable even to a friend, but many are they who love someone rich. One who despises the needy is at fault. One who takes pity on the poor is blessed. Plan evil. Isn't this to go astray? Those who plan for good can earn faithful love and constancy. Hard work always yields its profit. Idle talk brings only want. The crown of the wise is their riches. The folly of fools is folly. A truthful witness saves lives. Whoever utters lies is a deceiver. In the fear of Yahweh is powerful security. For his children he is a refuge. The fear of Yahweh is a life-giving spring for eluding the snares of death. Large population, monarch's glory. Dwindling population, ruler's ruin. Mastery of temper is high proof of intelligence. A quick temper makes folly worse than ever. The life of the body is a tranquil heart, but envy is a cancer in the bones. To oppress the weak insults the Creator. Kindness to the needy honors the Creator. For evil-doing, the wicked will be flung headlong, but in integrity the upright will find refuge. Wisdom resides in an understanding heart. She is not to be found in the hearts of fools. Uprightness makes a nation great. By sin whole races are disgraced. A king shows favor to a wise minister, but anger to one who shames him. Proverbs, chapter 15. A mild answer turns away wrath. Sharp words stir up anger. The tongue of the wise makes knowledge welcome. The mouth of a fool spews folly. The eyes of Yahweh are everywhere, observing the wicked and the good. The tongue that soothes is a tree of life. The perverse tongue, a breaker of hearts. Only a fool spurns a father's discipline. Whoever accepts correction is discreet. In the house of the upright there is no lack of treasure. The earnings of the wicked are fraught with anxiety. The lips of the wise spread knowledge. Not so the hearts of fools. The sacrifice of the wicked is abhorrent to Yahweh. Dear to him is the prayer of the honest. The conduct of the wicked is abhorrent to Yahweh, but he loves the person whose goal is uprightness. Correction is severe for one who leaves the way. Whoever hates being reprimanded will die. Sheol and perdition lie open to Yahweh. How much more the human heart? The mocker does not care to be reprimanded, and will not choose the wise as companions. Glad heart means happy face. Where the heart is sad, the spirit is broken. The heart of the wise seeks knowledge. A fool's mouth feeds on folly. For the poor every day is evil. For the joyous heart it is always festival time. Better to have little and with it fear of Yahweh than immense wealth and with it anxiety. Better a dish of herbs when love is there than a fattened ox and hatred to go with it. The hot-headed provokes disputes. The equable allays dissension. The way of the lazy is like a thorny hedge. The path of the honest is a broad highway. A wise child is a father's joy. Only a brute despises his mother. Folly appeals to someone without sense. A person of understanding goes straight forward. Without deliberation plans come to nothing. Plans succeed where counselors are many. Anyone who has a ready answer has joy too. How satisfying is the apt reply. For the prudent, the path of life leads upwards, thus avoiding Sheol below. Yahweh pulls down the house of the proud, but he keeps the widow's boundaries intact. Wicked scheming is abhorrent to Yahweh, but words that are kind are pure. Craving for dishonest gain brings trouble on a house. Hatred of bribery earns life. The heart of the upright reflects before answering. The mouth of the wicked spews out wickedness. Yahweh keeps his distance from the wicked, but he listens to the prayers of the upright. A kindly glance gives joy to the heart. Good news lends strength to the bones. The ear attentive to wholesome correction finds itself at home in the company of the wise. Whoever rejects correction lacks self-respect. Whoever accepts reproof grows in understanding. The fear of Yahweh is a school of wisdom. Before there can be glory, there must be humility. Proverbs chapter 16. Human heart makes the plans, Yahweh gives the answer. A person's own acts seem right to the doer, but Yahweh is the weigher of souls. Commend what you do to Yahweh, and what you plan will be achieved. Yahweh made everything for its own purpose. Yes, even the wicked for the day of disaster. Every arrogant heart is abhorrent to Yahweh. Be sure this will not go unpunished. By faithful love and constancy sin is expiated. By fear of Yahweh evil is avoided. Let Yahweh be pleased with someone's way of life, and he makes that person's very enemies into friends. Better have little and with it uprightness than great revenues with injustice. The human heart may plan a course, but it is Yahweh who makes the step secure. The lips of the king utter prophecies. He keeps faith when he speaks in judgment. The balances and scales belong to Yahweh. All the weights in the bag are of his making. Evil doing is abhorrent to kings, since uprightness is a throne's foundation. Upright lips are welcome to a king. He loves someone of honest words. The king's wrath is the herald of death, but the wise will appease it. When the king's face brightens, it spells life. His favor is like the rain in spring. Better gain wisdom than gold. Choose understanding in preference to silver. To turn from evil is the way of the honest. Whoever watches the path keeps life safe. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Better be humble with the poor than share the booty with the proud. Whoever listens closely to the word finds happiness. Whoever trusts Yahweh is blessed.
The wise of heart is acclaimed as intelligent. Sweetness of speech increases knowledge. Shrewdness is a fountain of life for its possessor. The folly of fools is their own punishment. The heart of the wise lends shrewdness to speech and makes words more persuasive. Kindly words are a honeycomb, sweet to the taste, wholesome to the body. There is a way that something straight, but it leads in the end to death. A worker's appetite works on his behalf, for his hunger urges him on. A worthless person concocts evil. Such a one's talk is like a scorching fire. A troublemaker sows strife. A slanderer divides friend from friend. The violent lures his neighbor astray and leads him by a way that is not good. Whoever narrows the eyes to think up tricks and purses the lips has already done wrong. White hairs are a crown of honor. They are found in the ways of uprightness. Better an equable person than a hero, someone with self-mastery than one who takes a city. In the fold of the garment the lot is thrown, but from Yahweh comes the decision. Proverbs, chapter 17. Better a mouthful of dry bread with peace than a house filled with quarrelsome sacrifices. A shrewd servant comes off better than an unworthy child. He will share the inheritance with the brothers. A furnace for silver, a foundry for gold, but Yahweh for the testing of hearts. An evildoer pays heed to malicious talk. A liar listens to a slanderous tongue. To mock the poor is to insult the Creator. No one who laughs at distress will go unpunished. The crown of the aged is their children's children. The children's glory is their father. Fine words do not become the foolish. False words become a prince still less. A gift works like a talisman for one who holds it. It brings prosperity at every turn. Whoever covers an offense promotes love. Whoever again raises the matter divides friends. A reproof makes more impression on a person of understanding than 100 strokes on a fool. The wicked person thinks of nothing but rebellion, but a cruel messenger will be sent to such a one. Rather come on a bear robbed of her cubs than on a fool in his folly. Disaster will never be far from the house of one who returns evil for good. As well unleash a flood as start a dispute. Desist before the quarrel breaks out. To absolve the guilty and condemn the upright, both alike are abhorrent to Yahweh. What good is money in the hand of a fool? To buy wisdom with it? The desire is not there. A friend is a friend at all times. It is for adversity that a brother is born. Whoever offers guarantees lacks sense and goes surety for a neighbor. The double dealer loves sin, the proud courts ruin. The tortuous of heart finds no happiness. The perverse of speech falls into misery. He who fathers a stupid child does so to his sorrow. The father of a fool knows no joy. A glad heart is excellent medicine. A depressed spirit wastes the bones away. Under cover of his cloak a bad man takes a gift to pervert the course of justice. The intelligent has wisdom there before him, but the eyes of a fool range to the ends of the earth. A foolish child is a father's sorrow, and the grief of her who gave the child birth. To find the upright is indeed a crime. To strike the noble is an injustice. Whoever can control the tongue knows what knowledge is. Someone of understanding keeps a cool temper. If the fool holds his tongue, he may pass for wise. If he seals his lips, he may pass for intelligent. Proverbs, chapter 18. Whoever lives alone follows private whims, and is angered by advice of any kind. A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in erring in opinion. When wickedness comes, indignity comes too, and, with contempt, dishonor. Deep waters, such are human words. A gushing stream, the utterance of wisdom. It is not good to show partiality for the wicked and so to deprive the upright when giving judgment. The lips of a fool go to the law courts with a mouth that pleads for a beating. The mouth of the fool works its owner's ruin. The lips of a fool are a snare for their owner's life. The words of a slanderer are tasty morsels that go right down into the belly. Whoever is idle at work is blood-brother to the destroyer. The name of Yahweh is a strong tower. The upright runs to it and is secure. The wealth of the rich forms a stronghold, a high wall, as the rich supposes. The human heart is haughty until destruction comes. Before there can be glory, there must be humility. To retort without first listening is both foolish and embarrassing. Sickness the human spirit can endure, but when the spirit is broken, who can bear this? The heart of the intelligent acquires learning. The ears of the wise search for knowledge. A present will open all doors and win access to the great. The first to plead is a judge to be upright, until the next comes and cross-examines him. The lot puts an end to disputes and decides between men of power. A brother offended is worse than a fortified city, and quarrels are like the locks of a keep. From the fruit of the mouth is a stomach filled. It is the yield of the lips that gives contentment. Death and life are in the gift of the tongue. Those who indulge it must eat the fruit it yields. He who finds a wife finds happiness, receiving a mark of favor from Yahweh. The language of the poor is entreaty, the answer of the rich harshness. There are friends who point the way to ruin, others are closer than a brother. Proverbs, chapter 19. Better the poor living an honest life than the adept at double talk who is a fool. Where knowledge is wanting, zeal is not good. Whoever goes too quickly stumbles. Folly leads conduct astray, yet it is against Yahweh that the heart rages. Wealth multiplies friends, but the one friend the poor has is taken away. The false witness will not go unpunished. No one who utters lies will go free. The nobleman has many to court his favor. To a giver of gifts, everyone is friend. The poor man's brothers hate him, every one. His friends, how much the more do these desert him? He goes in search of words, but there are none to be had. Whoever acquires sense wins profit from it. Whoever treasures understanding finds happiness. The false witness will not go unpunished. Whoever utters lies will be destroyed. It is not fitting for a fool to live in luxury, still less for a slave to govern princes. Good sense makes for self-control, and for pride in overlooking an offense. Like the roaring of a lion, the anger of a king, but like dew on the grass is favor. A foolish child is a disaster for the father. The bickerings of a wife are like an ever-dripping gutter. From fathers comes inheritance of house and wealth. From Yahweh a wife who is discreet. Idleness lulls to sleep. The feckless soul will go hungry. Keeping the commandment is self-preservation. But whoever despises these ways will die. Whoever is kind to the poor is lending to Yahweh, who will repay him the kindness done. While there is hope for him, chastise your child, but do not get so angry as to kill him. The violent lays himself open to a penalty. Spare him, and you aggravate his crime. Listen to advice, accept correction, to be the wiser in the time to come. Many are the plans in the human heart, but the purpose of Yahweh, that stands firm. Faithful love is what people look for in a person. They prefer the poor to a liar. The fear of Yahweh leads to life. It brings food and shelter, without fear of evil. Into the dish the idler dips his hand, but bring it back to his mouth he cannot. Strike a cynic, and simpletons will be more wary. Reprove the intelligent, and he will understand your meaning. He who ill-treats his father and drives out his mother is a child both worthless and depraved. Give up listening to instruction, my child, if you mean to stray from words of knowledge. A perjured witness holds the law in scorn. The mouth of the wicked feasts on evil doing. Punishments were made for mockers, and beating for the backs of fools. Proverbs, chapter 20. Wine is reckless, liquor rowdy. Unwise is anyone whom it seduces. Like the roaring of a lion is the fury of a king. Whoever provokes him sins against himself. It is praiseworthy to stop short of a lawsuit.
Only a fool flies into a rage. In autumn the idler does not plow, at harvest time he looks. Nothing there. The resources of the human heart are like deep waters. An understanding person has only to draw on them. Many describe themselves as people of faithful love, but who can find someone really to be trusted? The upright whose ways are blameless. Blessed the children who come after. A king enthroned on the judgment seat with one look scatters all that is evil. Who can say, I have cleansed my heart, I am purified of my sin? One weight here, another there. Here one measure, there another. Both alike are abhorrent to Yahweh. A young man's character appears in what he does, if his behavior is pure and straight. Ear that hears, eye that sees. Yahweh has made both of these. Do not love sleep or you will know poverty. Keep your eyes open and have your fill of food. No good, says the buyer. But he goes off congratulating himself. There are gold and jewels of every type, but a priceless ornament is speech informed by knowledge. Take the man's clothes. He has gone surety for a stranger. Take a pledge from him to the profit of persons unknown. Bread is sweet when it is got by fraud, but later the mouth is full of grit. Plans are matured by consultation. Take wise advice when waging war. The bearer of gossip lets out secrets. Do not mingle with chatterers. Whoever curses father or mother will have his lamp put out in the deepest darkness. Property quickly come by at first will not be blessed in the end. Do not say, I shall repay evil. Put your hope in Yahweh and he will keep you safe. One weight here, another there. This is abhorrent to Yahweh. False scales are not good. Yahweh guides the steps of the powerful. But who can comprehend human ways? Anyone is trapped who cries, dedicated, and begins to reflect only after the vow. A wise king winnows the wicked and makes the wheel pass over them. The human spirit is the lamp of Yahweh, searching the deepest self. Faithful love and loyalty mount guard over the king. His throne is founded on saving justice. The pride of the young is their strength. The ornament of the old, gray hairs. Wounding strokes are good medicine for evil. Blows have an effect on the inmost self. Proverbs, chapter 21. Like flowing water is a king's heart in Yahweh's hand. He directs it wherever he pleases. All actions are straight in the doer's own eyes, but it is Yahweh who weighs hearts. To do what is upright and just is more pleasing to Yahweh than sacrifice. Haughty eye, proud heart, lamp of the wicked, nothing but sin. The hard-working is thoughtful, and all is gain. Too much haste, and all that comes of it is want. To make a fortune with the help of a lying tongue. Such is the idle fantasy of those who look for death. The violence of the wicked proves their ruin, for they refuse to do what is right. The way of the felon is devious, the conduct of the innocent straight. Better the corner of a roof to live on than a house shared with a quarrelsome woman. The soul of the wicked is intent on evil. To such a person no neighbor can ever do right. When a cynic is punished, simpletons grow wiser, but someone of understanding acquires knowledge by instruction. The upright one watches the house of the wicked. He hurls the wicked to destruction. Whoever refuses to listen to the cry of the weak will in turn plead and not be heard. Anger is mollified by a covert gift, raging fury by a present under cover of the cloak. Doing what is right fills the upright with joy, but evildoers with terror. Whoever strays far from the way of prudence will rest in the assembly of shadows. Pleasure lovers stay poor. No one will grow rich who loves wine and good living. The wicked is a ransom for the upright, and the lawbreaker for the honest. Better to live in a desert land than with a quarrelsome and irritable woman. The wise has valuables and oil at home, but a fool soon runs through both. Whoever pursues uprightness and faithful love will find life, uprightness and honor. A sage can scale a garrisoned city and shatter the rampart on which it relied. Watch kept over mouth and tongue keeps the watcher safe from disaster. Insolent, haughty, the name is cynic. Overweening pride marks such behavior. The idler's desires are the death of him, since his hands will do no work. All day long the godless is racked by desire. The upright gives without ever refusing. The sacrifice of the wicked is abhorrent, above all if it is offered for bad motives. The false witness will perish, but no one who knows how to listen will ever be silenced. The wicked man's strength shows on his face, but the honest it is whose steps are firm. No wisdom, no understanding, no advice is worth anything before Yahweh. Fit out the cavalry for the day of battle, but the victory is Yahweh's. Proverbs, chapter 22. Fame is preferable to great wealth, favor to silver and gold. Rich and poor rub shoulders. Yahweh has made them both. The discreet sees danger and takes shelter. Simpletons go ahead and pay the penalty. The reward of humility is the fear of Yahweh, and riches, honor and life. Thorns and snares line the path of the willful. Whoever values life will stay at a distance. Give a lad a training suitable to his character, and, even when old, he will not go back on it. The rich lords it over the poor. The borrower is the lender's slave. Whoever sows injustice reaps disaster, and the rod of such anger will disappear. A kindly eye will earn a blessing. Such a person shares out food with the poor. Expel the mocker and strife goes too. Lawsuits and dislike die down. Whoever loves the pure of heart and is gracious of speech has the king for a friend. Yahweh's eyes protect knowledge, but he confounds deceitful speeches. There is a lion outside, says the idler. I shall be killed in the street. The mouth of an adulterous woman is a deep pit. Into it falls the man whom Yahweh rebukes. Folly is anchored in the heart of a youth. The whip of instruction will rid him of it. Harsh treatment enriches the poor, but a gift impoverishes the rich. Give ear, listen to the sayings of the sages, and apply your heart to what I know, for it will be a delight to keep them deep within you, to have them all ready on your lips, so that your trust may be in Yahweh. It is you whom I wish to instruct today. Have I not written for you 30 chapters of advice and knowledge, to make you know the certainty of true sayings, so that you can return with sound answers to those who sent you? Do not despoil the weak, for he is weak, and do not oppress the poor at the gate, for Yahweh takes up their cause, and extorts the life of their extortioners. Do not make friends with one who gives way to anger. Make no one quick-tempered a companion of yours. For fear you learn such behavior, and in it find a snare for yourself. Do not be one of those who go guarantor, who go surety for debts. If you have no means of paying, your bed will be taken from under you. Do not displace the ancient boundary stone set by your ancestors. You see someone alert at his business? His aim will be to serve kings. Not for him the service of the obscure. Proverbs, chapter 23. If you take your seat at a great man's table, take careful note of what you have before you. If you have a big appetite, put a knife to your throat. Do not hanker for his delicacies, for they are deceptive food. Do not wear yourself out in quest of wealth. Stop applying your mind to this. Fix your gaze on it, and it is there no longer, for it is able to sprout wings like an eagle that flies off to the sky. Do not eat the food of anyone whose eye is jealous. Do not hanker for his delicacies, for what he is really thinking about is himself. Eat and drink, he tells you, but his heart is not with you. You will spit out whatever you have eaten and find your compliments wasted. Do not waste words on a fool, who will not appreciate the shrewdness of your remarks. Do not displace the ancient boundary stone, or encroach on orphans' lands, for they have a powerful avenger, and he will take up their cause against you. Apply your heart to discipline, and your ears to instructive sayings. Do not be chary of correcting a child. A stroke of the cane is not likely to be fatal. Give him a stroke of the cane,
You will save his soul from Sheol. My child, if your heart is wise, then my own heart is glad, and my inmost self rejoices when from your lips come honest words. Do not let your heart be envious of sinners, but remain steady every day in the fear of Yahweh. For there is a future, and your hope will not come to nothing. Listen, my child, and be wise, and guide your heart in the way. Do not be one of those forever tippling wine, nor one of those who gorge themselves with meat. For the drunkard and glutton impoverish themselves, and sleepiness is clothed in rags. Listen to your father from whom you are sprung. Do not despise your mother in her old age. Purchase truth, never sell it wisdom, discipline, and discernment. The father of the upright will rejoice indeed. He who fathers a wise child will have joy of it. Your father and mother will be happy, and she who bore you joyful. My child, pay attention to me. Let your eyes take pleasure in my way. A prostitute is a deep pit, a narrow well, the woman who belongs to another. Yes, like a brigand, she lies in wait, increasing the number of lawbreakers. For whom is pity, for whom contempt, for whom is strife, for whom complaint, for whom blows struck at random, for whom the clouded eye? For those who linger over wine too long, ever on the lookout for the blended liquors. Do not gaze at wine, how red it is, how it sparkles in the cup, how smoothly it slips down the throat. In the end its bite is like a serpent's, its sting is sharp as an adder's. Your eyes will see peculiar things, you will talk nonsense from your heart. You will be like someone sleeping in mid-ocean, like one asleep at the masthead. Struck me, have they? But I'm not hurt. Beaten me? I don't feel anything. When shall I wake up? I'll ask for more of it. Proverbs, chapter 24. Do not be envious of the wicked or wish for their company, for their hearts are scheming violence, their lips talking mischief. By wisdom a house is built, by understanding it is made strong. By knowledge its storerooms are filled with riches of every kind, rare and desirable. The wise is mighty in power, strength is reinforced by science. For it is by strategy that you wage war, and victory depends on having many counselors. For a fool wisdom is an inaccessible fortress. At the city gate he does not open his mouth. Anyone intent on evil doing is known as a master in cunning. Folly dreams of nothing but sin. The mocker is abhorrent. If you lose heart when things go wrong, your strength is not worth much. Save those being dragged towards death, but can you rescue those on their way to execution? If you say, "But look, we did not know," will the weigher of the heart pay no attention? Will not the guardian of your soul be aware and repay you as your deeds deserve? Eat honey, my child, since it is good. Honey that drips from the comb is sweet to the taste. And so, for sure, will wisdom be to your soul. Find it and you will have a future, and your hope will not be cut short. Do not lurk, wicked man, round the upright man's dwelling. Do not despoil his house. For though the upright falls 7 times, he gets up again. The wicked are the ones who stumble in adversity. Should your enemy fall, do not rejoice. When he stumbles, do not let your heart exult, for fear that Yahweh will be displeased at the sight and turn his anger away from him. Do not be indignant about the wicked. Do not be envious of the evil, for there is no future for the evil. The lamp of the wicked will go out. Fear Yahweh, my child, and fear the king. Do not ally yourself with innovators, for suddenly disaster will loom for them, and who knows what ruin will seize them and their friends. The following are also taken from the sages. To show partiality in judgment is not good. Whoever tells the wicked, "You are upright," peoples curse him, nations revile him. But those who correct him come out of it well, on them will come a happy blessing. Whoever returns an honest answer plants a kiss on the lips. Plan what you want on the open ground, make your preparation in the field. Then go and build your house. Do not bear witness lightly against your neighbor, nor deceive with your lips. Do not say, I will treat my neighbor as my neighbor treated me. I will repay everyone what each has earned. By the idler's field I was passing, by the vineyard of a man who had no sense. There it all lay, deep in thorns, entirely overgrown with weeds, and its stone wall broken down. And as I gazed I pondered. I drew this lesson from the sight: a little sleep, a little drowsiness, a little folding of the arms to lie back, and poverty comes like a vagrant, and like a beggar, dearth.
Proverbs, chapter 25. Here are some more of Solomon's Proverbs, transcribed at the court of Hezekiah king of Judah. To conceal a matter, this is the glory of God; to sift it thoroughly, the glory of kings. The heavens for height and the earth for depth, unfathomable, as are the hearts of kings. From silver remove the dross, and it emerges wholly purified. From the king's presence remove the wicked, and on uprightness his throne is founded.
In the presence of the king do not give yourself airs. Do not take a place among the great. Better to be invited, "Come up here," than be humiliated in the presence of the prince.
What your eyes have witnessed do not produce too quickly at the trial. For what are you to do at the end should your neighbor confute you?
Have the quarrel out with your neighbor, but do not disclose another's secret, for fear your listener put you to shame, and the loss of repute be irremediable.
Like apples of gold inlaid with silver is a word that is aptly spoken.
A golden ring, an ornament of finest gold, is a wise rebuke to an attentive ear.
The coolness of snow in harvest time, such is a trustworthy messenger to those who send him. He revives the soul of his master. Clouds and wind, but no rain, such is anyone whose promises are princely but never kept.
With patience a judge may be cajoled. A soft tongue breaks bones. Eat to your satisfaction what honey you may find, but not to excess, or you will bring it up again. Do not set foot too often in your neighbor's house, for fear the neighbor tire of you and come to hate you. A mace, a sword, a piercing arrow, such as anyone who bears false witness against a companion. Decaying tooth, lame foot, such is the fickle when trusted in time of trouble. As well take off your coat in bitter weather. You are pouring vinegar on a wound when you sing songs to a sorrowing heart. If your enemy is hungry, give him something to eat. If thirsty, something to drink. By this you will be heaping red-hot coals on his head, and Yahweh will reward you. The north wind begets the rain, and a backbiting tongue, black looks. Better the corner of a roof to live on than a house shared with a quarrelsome woman. Cold water to a thirsty throat, such is good news from a distant land. A churned up spring, a fountain fouled, such is the upright person trembling before the wicked. It is not good to eat too much honey, nor to seek for glory on top of glory. An open town, and without defenses, such is anyone who lacks self-control. Proverbs, chapter 26. Snow no more befits the summer, nor rain the harvest time, than honors befit a fool. As the sparrow escapes, and the swallow flies away, so the undeserved curse will never hit its mark. A whip for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and for the backs of fools, a stick. Do not answer a fool in the terms of his folly, for fear you grow like him yourself. Answer a fool in the terms of his folly, for fear he imagine himself wise. He wounds himself, he takes violence for his drink, who sends a message by a fool. Unreliable as the legs of the lame, so is a proverb in the mouth of fools. As well tie the stone to the sling as pay honor to a fool. A thorn branch in a drunkard's hand, such is a proverb in the mouth of fools. An archer wounding everyone, such is he who hires the passing fool and drunkard. As a dog returns to its vomit, so a fool reverts to his folly. You see someone who thinks himself wise? More to be hoped for from a fool than from him. A wild beast on the road, says the idler, a lion in the streets. The door turns on its hinges, the idler on his bed. Into the dish the idler dips his hand, but is too tired to bring it back to his mouth. The idler thinks himself wiser than 7 people who answer with discretion. He takes a stray dog by the ears, who meddles in someone else's quarrel. Like a madman hurling firebrands, arrows and death, so is anyone who lies to a companion and then says, "Aren't I amusing?" No wood, and the fire goes out. No slanderer, and quarreling dies down. Charcoal for live embers, wood for fire, and the quarrelsome for kindling strife. The words of a slanderer are tasty morsels that go right down into the belly. Base silver plate on top of clay. Such are fervent lips and a wicked heart. Whoever hates may hide it in speech, but deep within lies treachery. Do not trust such a person's pretty speeches, since in the heart lurks 7 abominations. Hatred may disguise itself with guile, to reveal its wickedness later in the assembly. Whoever digs a pit falls into it. The stone comes back on him that rolls it. The lying tongue hates its victims. The wheedling mouth causes ruin. Proverbs, chapter 27. Do not congratulate yourself about tomorrow, since you do not know what today will bring forth. Let someone else sing your praises, but not your own mouth, a stranger, but not your own lips. Heavy is the stone, weighty is the sand. Heavier than both, a grudge borne by a fool. Cruel is wrath, overwhelming is anger. But jealousy, who can withstand that? Better open reproof than feigned love. Trustworthy are blows from a friend. Deceitful are kisses from a foe. The gorged throat revolts at honey. The hungry throat finds all bitterness sweet. Like a bird that strays from its nest, so is anyone who strays away from home. Oil and perfume gladden the heart, and the sweetness of friendship rather than self-reliance. Do not give up your friend or your father's friend. When trouble comes, do not go off to your brother's house. Better a near neighbor than a distant brother. Learn to be wise, my child, and gladden my heart, that I may have an answer for anyone who insults me. The discreet sees danger and takes shelter. Simpletons go ahead and pay the penalty. Take the man's clothes. He has gone surety for a stranger. Take a pledge from him, for persons unknown. Whoever at dawn loudly blesses his neighbor, it will be reckoned to him as a curse. The dripping of a gutter on a rainy day and a quarrelsome woman are alike. Whoever can restrain her, can restrain the wind, and take a firm hold on grease. Iron is sharpened by iron. One person is sharpened by contact with another. Whoever tends the fig tree eats its figs. Whoever looks after his master will be honored. As water reflects face back to face, so one human heart reflects another. Sheol and perdition are never satisfied. Insatiable, too, are human eyes. A furnace for silver, a foundry for gold. A person is worth what his reputation is worth. Pound a fool in a mortar, among grain with a pestle. His folly will not leave him. Know your flock's condition well. Take good care of your herds. For riches do not last forever. Crowns do not hand themselves on from age to age. The grass once gone, the aftergrowth appearing, the hay gathered in from the mountains. You should have lambs to clothe you, goats to buy you a field, goats' milk sufficient to feed you, to feed your household and provide for your serving girls. Proverbs, chapter 28. The wicked flees when no one is pursuing. The upright is bold as a lion. A country in revolt throws up many leaders. With one person wise and experienced, you have stability. The wicked oppresses the weak. Here is a devastating rain, and farewell bread. Those who forsake the law sing the praises of the wicked. Those who observe the law are angered by them. The wicked do not know what justice means. Those who seek Yahweh understand everything. Better someone poor living an honest life than someone of devious ways however rich. An intelligent child is one who keeps the law. An associate of profligates brings shame on his father. Whoever increases wealth by usury and interest amasses it for someone else who will bestow it on the poor. Whoever refuses to listen to the law, such a one's very prayer is an abomination. Whoever seduces the honest to evil ways will fall into his own pit. The blameless are the heirs to happiness. The rich may think himself wise, but the intelligent poor will unmask him. When the upright triumph, there is great exultation. When the wicked are in the ascendant, people take cover. No one who conceals his sins will prosper. Whoever confesses and renounces them will find mercy. Bless the person who is never without fear. Whoever hardens his heart will fall into distress. Like a roaring lion or a springing bear is a wicked ruler of a powerless people. An unenlightened ruler is rich in rapacity. One who hates greed will lengthen his days. A man guilty of murder will flee till he reaches his tomb. Let no one halt him. Whoever lives an honest life will be safe. Whoever wavers between two ways falls down in one of them. Whoever works his land shall have bread and to spare. But no one who chases fantasies has any sense. A trustworthy person will be overwhelmed with blessings. But no one who tries to get rich quickly will go unpunished. It is not good to show partiality, but people will do wrong for a mouthful of bread. The person of greedy eye chases after wealth, not knowing that want will be the result. Anyone who reproves another will enjoy more favor in the end than the flatterer. Whoever robs father and mother saying, "Nothing wrong in that," is comrade for a brigand. The covetous provokes disputes. Whoever trusts in Yahweh will prosper. Whoever trusts his own wit is a fool. Anyone whose ways are wise will be safe. No one who gives to the poor will ever go short, but whoever closes his eyes will have curses in plenty. When the wicked are in the ascendant, people take cover, but when they perish, the upright multiply. Proverbs, chapter 29. Whoever is stiff-necked under reproof will be suddenly and irremediably broken. When the upright are on the increase, the people rejoice. When the wicked are in power, the people groan. The lover of wisdom makes his father glad, but the patron of prostitutes fritters his wealth away. A king gives a country stability by justice. An extortioner brings it to ruin. Whoever flatters his companion spreads a net for his feet. In the sin of the wicked lies a snare, but the upright exults and rejoices. The upright understands the cause of the weak. The wicked has not the wit to understand it. Scoffers set a city in ferment, but the wise moderate anger. Let someone wise argue with a fool, anger and good humor alike will be wasted. The bloodthirsty hate the honest, but the upright seek them out. The fool blurts out every angry feeling, but the wise subdues and restrains them. When a ruler listens to false reports, all his ministers will be scoundrels. Poor and oppressor are found together. Yahweh gives light to the eyes of both. The king who judges the weak with equity sees his throne set firm forever. The stick and the reprimand bestow wisdom. A young man left to himself brings shame on his mother. When the wicked are on the increase, sin multiplies, but the upright will witness their downfall. Correct your child, and he will give you peace of mind. He will delight your soul. Where there is no vision, the people get out of hand. Happy are they who keep the law. Not by words is a slave corrected. Even if he understands, he will take no notice. You see someone too ready of speech? There is more to be hoped for from a fool. If a slave is pampered from childhood, he will prove ungrateful in the end. The hot head provokes disputes. Someone in a rage commits all sorts of sins. Pride brings humiliation. Whoever humbles himself will win honor. To hear the curse and disclose nothing is to share with the thief and to hate oneself. To be afraid of human beings is a snare. Whoever trusts in Yahweh is secure. Many people seek a ruler's favor, but the rights of each come from Yahweh. Abhorrent to the upright is the sinful. Abhorrent to the wicked is one whose way is straight.
Proverbs. Chapter 30. The sayings of Agur son of Jacob, of Massa. Prophecy of this man for Ithiel and for Ucal. I am myself the stupidest of people, bereft of human intelligence. I have not learnt wisdom, and I lack the knowledge of the holy ones. Who has mounted to the heavens, then come down again? Who has gathered the wind in the clasp of his hand? Who has wrapped the waters in his cloak? Who has set all the ends of the earth firm? What is his name? What is his child's name? Do you know? Every word of God is unalloyed, a shield to those who take refuge in him. To his words make no addition, lest he reprove you and account you a liar. 2 things I beg of you, do not grudge me them before I die. Keep falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Grant me only my share of food, for fear that, surrounded by plenty, I should fall away and say, Yahweh, who is Yahweh? Or else, in destitution, take to stealing and profane the name of my God. Do not blacken a slave's name to his master, lest he curse you, and you suffer for it. There is a breed of person that curses his father and does not bless his mother. A breed that, laying claim to purity, has not yet been cleansed of its filth. A breed haughty of eye, with disdain in every glance. A breed with swords for teeth, with knives for jaws, devouring the oppressed from the earth and the needy from the land. The leech has 2 daughters. Give. There are 3 insatiable things, for indeed, that never say, enough. Sheol, the barren womb, earth which can never have its fill of water, fire which never says, enough. The eye which looks jeeringly on a father, and scorns the obedience due to a mother, will be pecked out by the ravens of the valley, and eaten by the vultures. There are 3 things beyond my comprehension, for, indeed, that I do not understand. The way of an eagle through the skies, the way of a snake over the rock, the way of a ship in mid-ocean, the way of a man with a girl. This is how an adulteress behaves. She eats, then wipes her mouth and says, I have done nothing wrong. There are 3 things at which the earth trembles, for indeed, which it cannot endure. A slave become king, a brute gorged with food, a hateful woman wed at last, a servant girl inheriting from her mistress. There are 4 creatures little on the earth, though they are wisest of the wise. Ants, a race with no strength, yet in the summer they make sure of their food. The conies, a race without defenses, yet they make their home in the rocks. Locusts, which have no king, yet they all march in good order. Lizards, which you can catch in your hand, yet they frequent the palaces of kings. There are 3 things of stately tread, for indeed of stately walk. The lion, bravest of beasts, he will draw back from nothing. A vigorous cock, a he-goat, and the king when he harangues his people. If you have been foolish enough to fly into a passion and now have second thoughts, lay your hand on your lips. For by churning the milk you produce butter, by wringing the nose you produce blood, and by whipping up anger you produce strife. Proverbs. Chapter 31. The sayings of Lemuel king of Massa, taught him by his mother. What, my son? What, son of my womb? What, son of my vows? Do not expend your energy on women nor your wealth on those who ruin kings. Not for kings, O Lemuel, not for kings the drinking of wine, not for princes the love of liquor, for fear that in liquor they forget what they have decreed and pervert the course of justice against all the poor. Procure strong drink for someone about to die, wine for him whose heart is heavy. Let him drink and forget his misfortune, and remember his misery no more. Make your views heard, on behalf of the dumb, on behalf of all the unwanted. Make your views heard, pronounce an upright verdict, defend the cause of the poor and the wretched. The truly capable woman, who can find her? She is far beyond the price of pearls. Her husband's heart has confidence in her. From her he will derive no little profit. Advantage and not hurt she brings him all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax. She does her work with eager hands. She is like those merchant vessels, bringing her food from far away.
She gets up while it is still dark, giving her household their food, giving orders to her serving girls. She sets her mind on a field, then she buys it. With what her hands have earned, she plants a vineyard. She puts her back into her work and shows how strong her arms can be. She knows that her affairs are going well. Her lamp does not go out at night. She sets her hands to the distaff. Her fingers grasp the spindle. She holds out her hands to the poor. She opens her arms to the needy. Snow may come. She has no fears for her household, with all her servants warmly clothed. She makes her own quilts. She is dressed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gates, taking his seat among the elders of the land. She weaves materials and sells them. She supplies the merchant with sashes. She is clothed in strength and dignity. She can laugh at the day to come. When she opens her mouth, she does so wisely. On her tongue is kindly instruction. She keeps good watch on the conduct of her household. No bread of idleness for her. Her children stand up and proclaim her blessed. Her husband, too, sings her praises. Many women have done admirable things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceitful, and beauty empty. The woman who fears Yahweh is the one to praise. Give her a share in what her hands have worked for, and let her works tell her praises at the city gates.